Hey, everybody out there. Another episode of This Life Ain't For Everybody podcast coming at you live from Argentina Duck Hunting Adventures in the province of Buenos Aires, Argentina. Again today from the lodge is Clay Belding, Dead Dog Walking, JP Fischer, Benelli, USA, George Thompson, Benelli, USA, and Roc Merlo. Merlo Waterfowl, California Waterfowl Association, and Merlo Farming, Chico, California. Today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Dick CPEC Tires and Wheels and our friends at Anheuser-Busch, the king of beers, the red and white, the one and only Budweiser. Guys, today I want to start off by just talking a little bit about today's hunt. I still have, no pun intended, goosebumps, even though they weren't geese, but we killed 164 ducks, rosy bills, teal, widgeon, pintail. George, just talk to me a little bit about, did you hit any, first of all? Just be honest, 100% honest.
Well, you know, regardless of the pictures that you posted up on the Instagram, I actually did kill a few birds today. And, you know, the first, 45 minutes or an hour of this morning's hunt was just epic. It was as fast as you could load the gun, get back on the shoulder and shoot. I mean, the birds were just dumping in constantly. It was pretty awesome.
And what was awesome, JP, is that we were talking about how North America, when you're hunting puddle ducks, they come, you know, when you're hunting over water like that, there's a certain way that puddle ducks work and there's a certain way that diver ducks work. A lot of assumptions, I think, when you go to foreign lands is that you're not going to see that kind of action, but they were coming from high altitudes, and Rocky can touch on this, or Clay as well, but high altitudes and dropping in, cupping their wings, feet down, losing the air, letting the air out of their wings, and then settling up right over the mojos in the keel hole. And it was just night and day compared to yesterday, yeah?
Yeah, this morning, especially when the wind was right and those birds were flying everywhere, they just sort of stopped right in front of us. It's just like hunting anywhere else. Those birds were sitting ducks, pun intended. We killed them pretty good.
Wow, pun intended. Did you hear that one thrown in there?
I did.
Sitting ducks. But it's like Rock. Widgeon over rice in the Delta of Sacramento, or the Butte, the Butte Scene country of where you hunt around Durham or Chico, California. It's kind of the same thing. When you get a windy day like that and you got some sunshine, those widgeon or pintail come from high, and it's the same thing here. Those rosy bills are pretty much like any duck that we hunt in North America.
Right. Well, we saw all three kind of approaches today. I mean, we saw the big water bank over the lake pond we're in, whatever you want to call it, where they took big wide swings and then came and worked up into the decoy spread. We had them cup and drop, like you were saying earlier, from straight up and just one pass straight in. But then we also had them dropping over our backside and just dropping right over the top of the blind and dropping into the decoys. And those were the ones, honestly, we didn't shoot at, because they came in, they snuck in, and it was so quick of a drop. And they were pairs and triples like that. We also had those big bunches coming in that were really, it was really epic watching them. I mean, it was, like you said, night and day difference from yesterday. No stress with it.
And there was times where there'd be 20, 30, 40 dead birds on the water because those flocks were finishing so fast on top of each other. By the time we got done killing one, we had just enough time to reload the ethos and get it back on the shoulder for the next flock coming in. And the way that they do things down here is that they have, it's just like dove hunting up in the Cordoba area, where they have quote unquote bird boys, where Monty has them waiting, where the wind's pushing these ducks. They're waiting down there with inner tubes and feed bags, like you would see at a chicken feed store or something. And they're just packing the birds in there. And that's one thing that, I really want to get the message out there, is that you kill 164 ducks in a day. We killed 100 yesterday. What are you doing with all these ducks? And one thing's for sure is the economy around here. There's not a lot of money with these farming and ranching families around here. Monty and his crew provide a lot of meals for the locals around here by giving them the meat. Some of the farmers take them and clean them themselves and process them. Other ones are processed here at the lodge and then sent to the farms. And then, Franco, Monty's head chef here, cooks a lot of the ducks. We've eaten duck every day since we've been here. So I think that that's a really cool thing, that these ducks, when you're killing that many, are benefiting several families as well as his clients and his crew.
Yeah, well, I like the duck empanadas for sure. So, the rest of it's cool, but come on, those duck empanadas are amazing. Every day we've had them, and they seem to get better and better every day.
Yeah, you kill the birds the day before, then they're waiting for you to eat the next day when you get back from killing another hunter.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
And being a good chef and having somebody like he has with Franco here, it's pretty legit what he's preparing. And they're out there getting into some ducks right now. He's going to prepare a couple different appetizers tonight. And we've chosen to eat our dinner at 9:30 p.m. because
Which is early here.
it's early here, but we had a pretty substantial lunch again with that fish. And that fish is called pickerel, which is caught 45 minutes from here. And I thought it was, I hear pickerel called, walleye called pickerel in some parts of North Dakota and Canada. And it tasted a lot like walleye.
Yeah, it was really good.
Very light white fish. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any like preferences or anything that you would want if he gave us our choice of eating anything that we've had so far? What would it be besides the empanadas?
That pork.
The pork belly tenderloin.
The pork last night was off the hook.
Yeah, I agree.
Or the smoky garlic.
I was just going to say, so those smoky, I can't get that out of my mind. Those smoky, I need that recipe.
The raviolis.
No, the smoky garlic mashed
Raviolis
potatoes.
are
No, I'm saying, what about the raviolis though?
The raviolis were good.
Those mushroom raviolis.
But I got to be handed that pork was pretty off the chart.
Last night.
Yeah.
Because I've never had a
Remember,
a
yeah,
pair
that
That
like
was,
that.
that was actually the prime rib of the pork. Was
the
the
pair,
wider
though.
tenderloin, which in America they don't cut like
Right,
that.
right.
And these guys cut it, so you got the fat in it rolled up, and then it was just off the
But
chart.
you put it with that grilled pear
grilled
that he
pear,
did.
Oh,
which I've never
yeah.
done, right?
I've never done a grilled pear.
But I got to tell you, I have a butcher near me that I get a lot of stuff from, and I'm going to ask him if he'll do that pork. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? He's going to think I'm crazy. But then
Well, have you ever went to a butcher and had him cut you pork butt steaks they're called Boston butts in a lot
Yeah,
of places
yeah.
in America. Have you guys had a real Boston butt
Yeah.
feed? And you see how much grease and oils and fats come out of that cut of meat, but the taste of there's a place called Strawberries in southeast Missouri in the Boot Hill country, right in the heart of duck country of Arkansas Missouri border, and they specialize in the Boston butt with this really awesome dry rub.
Yeah.
And that reminded me a lot of the meat we were eating last night. Was
Yeah.
kind of that same texture and same flavor of just juicy pork meat. I guess it's kind of like a really moist pork chop. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah. And more tender, right? I think it was
Like fall off the bone.
You
too.
could cut it with a fork,
What do you guys think about Monty Baldwin as a character and as a can we do a reality show based around this?
Oh, we
dude?
have to.
It would have to be a cable TV show, I believe.
Really? Why?
Well, he's not. Monty's. They broke the mold when they made Monty. He's a unique fella, and oh my goodness, he's full of energy for his age, and he loves being down here and loves hosting, and he's almost putting on a show for us down here. He's a lot of fun.
He's 66 years old and he goes
Hard.
He's up at 3 a.m. He's
Yeah.
hunting. He stays out there for the entire hunt, and then he comes back here and gets. He's got a
Well, then he
business
goes.
going.
Then he goes supervise building the blinds. I mean, it's, he's working all day long. But a reality show, it would be. That's a $1 million idea.
What would we
he's
call it?
hilarious. The full Monty.
Oh, I think we just nailed it right
Yeah,
there.
it's got to be.
That's like the Big Lebowski kind of theme show, like the full Monty. And he walks in, he looks like I would have him look like Bill Murray's part in Kingpin. You know how he's got the hair and he's just all partied out. That's how Monty reminds me of. Everything that comes out of his mouth is freaking energetic as heck.
Oh yeah, yeah, and a huge smile.
Well,
Totally happy and smiling the whole time. He's a great energy.
Well, what's cool about it is that no one really knows him, probably who's listening, but he's done well in life.
Right.
And a lot of those people don't do what he does, and he's all about giving back and having fun and just sharing life and just
Working
living
hard.
life and working hard.
Yeah,
Still.
still.
At this age, at 66, and still doing what he loves and bringing a smile to everybody's face because of it.
Yeah, that's why this place is so special, right? I mean, I don't think it would be the same if there's plenty of guys out there that run lodges and they do a great job, but I think this place would be, above average without Monty, but with Monty, I think it's spectacular.
Yeah, he's definitely got the work ethic and the poise to pull something like this off because it's no easy feat to. Yeah, like Clay said, he's been very influential in business in the Western United States in pre-commercial development, construction, real estate, anything that you along those lines. And then to come down here 7,500 miles from that area, you know, and to have this kind of a lodge and this networking and these relationships, it just shows you how strong-minded he is and the entrepreneurial spirit it takes to pull something like that off.
I agree. I'm impressed with his local relationships. I mean, you know, the guys he's got working for him down here, and I think he trusts them, you know, he said it today, I trust him with my life, you know, so it's pretty neat. And, you know, you guys know him, but, you know, coming down here and it's always sort of, you never know when you go to a new place and you got a host and somebody you don't know, how personalities clash, and sometimes things don't really work out. But you get through it. It's no big deal. But, you know, it's been like I've known him my whole life, and we've been here for a couple days, right? So
It's Uncle Monty.
Uncle Monty.
That could be, I want my own. That's the other show because the
Uncle
other
Monty.
Yeah, the full Monty's been
Full
taken.
Monty's taken.
Yeah. So
They might get the wrong idea with the full Monty.
Uncle Monty.
Week at Monty's.
Weekend at Monty's.
Not for Rocky. I think he's going to be every other week at Monty's.
Well, Monty has a heck of a place where Rocky lives too in Calusa. He's got a big pad there, a big duck lodge, and he's a member of the Wild Goose, which is a historic duck club in the Butte Sink. And he's, again, you work hard in life and you become independently wealthy. You have the ability to do what he's doing, and he has every right to do that. And for him to have the passion that he does and to be able to share it with us like this, I mean, he spares no expense. He picks up the tabs. His food is amazing here, and he's literally every time. As soon as he pulled up today with the hunt, how was it? What do we need to fix? And he's always, and I love him because he's always taking advice or recommendations from us.
Yeah, and the great thing, and this is probably part of why he's been such a great success in life, he's always looking for ways to improve it. You know, he's not just saying, I've got this thing nailed, it's great. He takes great advice, and he's always, next year you got to come back, you got to see what we're going to do, and next year it'll be like this. And and you got to imagine he's just going to constantly be doing that and making this place better and better and better and better.
And he you can hear the cooks getting ready. They're rocking in the back, and he just came out and saw that we were doing a podcast. And Caesar, come here, friend. How do you say "come here" in Spanish? Vaniqui. See, I had that. Say hello to our friends out here. This Life Ain't for Everybody podcast. Say hello.
Hola. How are you?
Keep going. Sing a Spanish song.
Okay.
Cantar en...
Bueno, estoy muy contento de tenerlos aquí. Les doy la bienvenida aquí en la Argentina y espero que la pasen de maravilla.
Okay.
Gracias.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, he was telling us that he's very excited for us to be here and that we're all good friends now and that he wants you guys to come back in Argentina at all times.
Okay,
Anytime.
cool, but tell him to sing it now.
Puedes cantar. Sí.
Okay.
Sí.
Come on. Happy birthday.
No, soy malo.
Bad voice, he said. Thank you for everything, Caesar. Gracias. Yeah, one of the things that I was thinking about today, Rock, and you do a lot with politics and conservation efforts, especially with CWA, is what is the big deal about an electronic call when it comes to duck hunting? Why wouldn't America let you have a recorder going? Because down here they're using audio systems like you would on a predator hunt or like you would on a snow goose hunt, and they're playing the sounds of rosy bills. I don't know if they're mating sounds or I don't know what the vocabulary is, but why couldn't you have a thing going of widgeon whistling and pintail whistling? And is it unethical to have electronic calling? And do you know any of the facts around the laws that surround it in America?
Well, I looked into it last year with Jake Messerly at CWA. Was asking him, and he's our vice president, and apparently it came down to at a point where it was a fair chase issue. And they didn't feel that in California that it was fair chase. They didn't feel like we had depredation problems to lower the population that much by using them like they would in Texas or, up in the Dakotas when you all are doing it on those goose hunts. The duck hunting, I couldn't answer that. I would just assume we've always used calls in the States, and for the ducks, I don't think they're going to go there because the waterfowl here, I mean, it's possible there's so many of them that maybe they do have a depredation problem, with the numbers of birds. or it's just that it's just not really thought about. I mean, one, trying to emulate that duck today. I mean, you and I have called ducks since we were little kids. I mean, it's hard to make that sound with our calls. But we kind of noticed after the hunt, I started, playing with the craw and the vocal larynx on the duck, and that rosy bill literally has a bulging square box in its neckline. I've never felt that on any bird before, and every one of them had that. So that's where I think that it's coming from, and I just don't think that there's truly a call. I mean, maybe we could make one, but I mean, they just don't have anything to sound like that. I mean, we kind of sound like it, but not really.
No, not really.
Whoa, George.
That voice
Captain
box
Insult
is,
woke up.
that voice box is amazing. It's a good 3/4 to an inch
Square.
or whatever it is. We
It
gotta cut one out tomorrow and
it
see
is
what
just
it
a
looks
little
like.
bit bigger than if you were to stick a dice down that duck's throat. That's what
We need
it
to
felt
cut it.
like, was a little bit larger than a hard dice, and it's hard.
We need to cut one out tomorrow and see kind of
Yeah.
what it
And you're
looks
for
like.
sure were you pushing on it and getting some sounds out of it when you were
No,
dicing?
you
Got to air
it-
pass through it.
Yeah, it passes through it.
Let's
you
take
know,
one out tomorrow and breathe and whistle through it, or
and
blow
kind
air
of blow
through it.
down the
See
tube
through
of the duck. You
We'll
might
have
be able
George
to
do that part.
get that.
Little duck CPR, see what it sounds like.
Yeah. Here's
But it
another
is
question.
different. It
Here's
is
another
different.
question for Rocky and George. How big was that lagoon we were hunting today? How many acres of water was that, you think?
I would say it was 20 acres.
20 acres? Those ducks are coming off of bigger water than that. They're out there rafted up on some bigger water, and they're coming in to these ponds to eat during the day, just like they do in America. They leave their roost and they come to eat. Would you have a chance without the spinning wings out there? With that size of water, and they're flying over that visually, and the concept of motion and attraction of ducks. And I talked to Terry Demon, the founder and still the president and CEO of Mojo. The Mojo is created to get ducks' attention from a long ways away and bring them close enough to let your decoy spread, your calling, your jerk strings, the rest of your apparatus and arsenal do the work to get them in tight. I don't think we would kill 10% of the ducks you do down here without spinners, with the vast size of the country and the areas that these ducks have to go. And we saw it today when that wind switched. There was a lot of ducks went over on the other side of the lagoon and landed. Would you think you'd have a chance without Mojos here?
Well, I mean, I think, Chad, the Mojos definitely are a big hit. We know that. We know that the Mojos are a big hit. We saw that when they were introduced into California in '99 with the mallards. But, out here, they're helping exactly what you say. They're seeing us from a long distance. We had a pond. I'm not sure if you could see it from your side of the blind, but there was a pond to our left. Well, I don't know what really direction that was, but I believe it was our northwest. There was a pond back there, and ducks were going into there this morning. And you could see them off in the distance. And we had birds that were coming from there, lifting off and coming to us. So not sure what it was, but the Mojos did help. But, we would have been shut down today, my opinion, if we didn't have it at the end there when the wind did switch.
Yeah.
That's where I really saw it. I think that here, if you didn't have the Mojo, it would be more back when we were in the 90s, 80s, 70s prior them coming out. You would have had to move today. You would have literally had to pack up and move your blind and went to the other side of the pond if you wanted to shoot ducks, or you were done.
Yeah.
Because the ducks wanted to be over there. We just kind of enticed them to come and take a look. But honestly, I think this afternoon, that mid-morning hunt, I bet you out of the ducks that were coming in the pond, I bet you we only were able to pull in maybe 20%, 15 to 20 of what was coming through, where this morning we were like 85%, 90, at first light. So that's where we saw it. But they definitely do react to them here. There's no doubt about it, especially from the altitude that they were dropping in.
George, what do you think is the key to decoying ducks? And I often think about this too. You guys think about this. And when you have a group of 1, 2, 3, we had 5 guns in that blind today, and each gun's holding 4 shells. So you have 5. Mine was holding 4. I think I forgot to load it again. My 20 gauge only holds 4, right?
No.
I'm so used to just putting 3 in. My 20 gauge holds 5 too?
The one you're using today did.
It did? I was only hunting 3, so that shows you how deadly that Chad's aim is.
Yeah, well, I have videos about that.
Oh, you do? We'll have to see them. How do you guys go about picking out ducks when I call the shot? It seems like we always were. There was some ducks that were in that kill hole today. Do you guys strategize and say, all right, I know that duck's going to be lit up right away?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny because I think of that every time before I pick a bird. I think to myself, which one is everybody going to shoot at? Because I don't want to shoot at that one.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because I would imagine everybody does that, and we ultimately end up picking a lot of the same birds.
Yeah, there's a few times where there was like 8 birds would come right in the spread, and we would just kick the heck out of one of them. We'd be like, shoot it, you know, all 3 of us shot the same bird.
And the lead bird that was closest flies away.
Yeah.
Because in America, part of in Roc, you can talk on it again, the lawful part or the regulation part of duck hunting, the blind limit is something that's been talked about for a long time. So you have a lot of, and down here it doesn't apply, obviously. But in America, you have the ability to do what we do, where you stand up and shoot, and then all of a sudden you have 18 dead ducks and you're allowed 24. Well, does that mean that I get to kill 1 more or 2 more or 3 more and you're done for the day and you got to put your gun up? That's the kind of thing that you start to think about is how far can that be pressed lawfully, Roc, as far as a blind limit goes? And could potentially a game warden come in and say, whoa, because legally in America, you're supposed to have your bounty in possession with you in front of you. So I guess it's up to the hunters to say, all right, well, let's legally disperse these throughout the blind so we can all keep shooting. Is that legal?
Well, in the law in California states that you're supposed to take your own game. Okay, you shoot your birds, you pile your birds up in front of you. If you do it any other way, it's called gang shooting. Okay, and the wardens they frown on that. So, you know, that's where, you know, in California, it makes it a little difficult on our goose hunts that we're doing. You know, when we're running 6 to 10 guys in the field, you really have to watch and keep your zone. Okay, duck hunting is not so bad. Duck hunting is usually a smaller group sport. You know, part of the hunting part. We're usually in the blind with 2 to 3 individuals when you go duck hunting. Most duck clubs in the sink, there's only, you know, 2 partners. That's it that are going. So you're calling your shots and so forth like that today. But if you notice today, Chad, how many times? I mean, I bet you it was 20 of our ups. We called shots for individuals in the blind.
Yeah.
We still brought that to the hunt because that is the hunt. You know, watching your buddy. You know,
Miss.
You know, I was going to say
Adding
watching your
pressure.
buddy hit and, you know, and high fiving,
miss.
or watching the miss and getting the rub in, okay, and the laughs with it. And you made the comment that we have been laughing a lot on this trip because we've been excited and happy and jovial and so forth. But you know, it didn't matter. I mean, if one of us was off today or yesterday, we throw jabs about it, and then the next day they're on. You know, and you know, some of us, rarely, never miss, and they like to preach that. And then we're watching him miss today, and you know, but the duck was land at the other end of the pond, and that's called
my
a hit,
only.
I guess.
That was
right.
Yeah, you guys thought I missed that duck, and he was lung.
I've got video.
Yeah.
To prove it.
But no, but it is. It's you know, to go back to your question. You know, you got to, in California, you're responsible for your own take. There's a new law that's just came out on the salmon fishing, and the wardens are going to be hard on it this year. It's one fish on the river, and I think this is the way, you know, probably a lot of it's going to go in the future. When you catch your salmon, you're done.
Your rod's out of the water.
Your wad is out of the water and put up, and the other people on the boat can continue to fish till they catch their fish. So they're going to be strict on it. I don't know if it's a change. You know, in the past, the wardens have been fairly light on the shooting with big groups. I just don't know where it's going to go. But in our business, we really try to follow, you know, the letter of the law.
It would be hard to, I mean, just in my mind, I don't know, obviously, no lawyer or anything. It just, there's no way to prove.
How do you prove it? Yeah.
If 10 dudes come up and
5 ducks fall.
there's no BBs that are marked from your gun that they can go
Geez,
in
don't
and
say
say
that out loud. California's listening.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't some ammo companies out there that have done that with
Yeah, they
different
do the
color
colored
shot.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if?
Or you're gonna cut them open every time.
Well, not even that. But what if me and you
Real
were shooting
good
the
ammo
same
doesn't
color?
get caught in the duck.
It's true.
It goes right through it.
I want to bring what we were just saying about calling names. It's a lot of fun. You know, like Chad's at the end of the blind. He's like, all right, JP, this one's yours. And then you get that like added pressure of being on the spotlight. You know, everyone's watching. And you know, when you stand up to take that bird, no one else is standing up. Or if they are, they're shooting to like, you know, hit your miss, which is even worse.
Would it be fair to nickname me Cleanup, George? Honestly, like how many times?
No. I think Clay is Mr. Cleanup.
He's
killed way
he
more
couldn't hit
cripples
water.
than you.
No, not
Oh no! I mean,
cripples.
I'm
talking
telling you
about
right now, there is some. We have a little bit. It is. You are close to Mr. Clean.
All right, is that a hair joke? But I think JP, honestly, you've hunted ducks several times. I don't know how experienced you're in it, but there is an art to cripple killing. There's a right way to do it, and a lot of people think that you put the bead on the duck's head, and hitting that duck's head at that pattern. You know, if he's 30 or 40 yards out there, you don't. You might not, but the way that I was always taught to do it was aim 5 feet in front of the duck and let those BBs penetrate the water and get to the vitals in the duck's belly down there in his stomach, right?
Yeah.
And that works. And we've seen it. We've dispatched some cripples because when you're killing that many ducks that fast, you are going to have some cripples here and there.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we did today. I mean, we preached it, you know, and yeah, there's an art to it. It's not as easy as it. I mean, it seems really easy. It's just a, you know, stationary target or a kind of twitchy target, and you know, you put the bead on it, and then yeah, it's an art to it for sure. I messed it up a couple times. I'll admit it.
But there would be individuals who would come and not worry about that. And if you really think through the whole hunt today, there were missed opportunities on our part because we were being ethical and cleaning up the birds that were on the water.
That's true.
And not just letting them fall.
Yep.
And that's the proper way to do it.
I think that the compassionate part of being a hunter is very important, the responsibility part of it. And the last thing I want to visualize is a crippled duck with even though it's natural and eagles and hawks are going to come down and smoke even the live, healthy duck, it's our job to dispatch that duck and put it out of its misery as fast as you can, ethically and morally, to where he's dead and you eat it. A duck flopping his wings and causing that commotion, you know, it happens out in the wild all the time. And that's why coyotes come to decoys, because they see a bird that's twitching, or they see a rabbit that's crippled, or a deer that's been crippled, or whatever.
Yeah.
It happens. But as a hunter, it really bugs me when guys are... I think that having a really good dog is the ethical thing to do, to where you can send them on a blind retrieve and get a long cripple. But there are a lot of hunters that I've been around, and I've been guilty of it myself, to where that cripple goes down 200 yards away, and you're like, oh, we'll get him later. Sometimes they forget to count it against their limit, which it is part of their limit. Second, they go over there and that thing crawled up into a hole or got hit by a hawk or whatever. It happened yesterday when one landed on the shore. That hawk came down and busted it. It was just a little pile of feathers.
Right.
So you might mess up a couple flocks going out and getting your birds, or shooting a couple extra shots and scaring some flocks, but you're doing the right thing, is the compassionate part of being a hunter.
Yeah, and I think down here, just the sheer volume of ducks, you know, we kind of stressed out a little bit about missing some really good opportunities because we were doing the ethical thing and shooting those cripples. But I mean, we shot 164 ducks, whatever. I mean, it's not like we didn't really miss much. We still had an amazing time, and we did everything the right way.
No, it's just one of those deals to where, what's the difference between killing 130 or 164? There's all it is more to clean. If you're going to take the responsibility of killing that many, you got to do it right. And you don't want cripples to swim away and have the opportunity to get away from you, just because you're in a hurry to get to the next flock.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I want to just kind of go around the table and figure out what would you say is like the most I don't know what energetic part of that hunt is, because I'm sitting in awe a lot of the times, because I never ever imagined that we would see that many ducks on an Argentina duck hunt. Is that going through your guys' head, the sheer number of ducks that you're seeing?
It has to. I mean, it's unreal, right? I mean, you know, we've seen a lot of ducks hunting together, Chad, and you know, sometimes they cooperate and sometimes they don't, but the sheer number, I've never been in a situation where you're loading as fast as you possibly can because the next birds are about to land in your decoys, right? And it was an hour of that this morning, just nonstop.
Yeah, it seemed like the shot, we're calling them in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, what's going on over there? Let's go check it out.
But my favorite part probably, and I've been on top of a few grinds where there's thousands of mallards on top of you, but not for an hour straight, right? And it's not thousands of rosy bills all at one time, but it's a constant flow of ducks. So my favorite part is seeing the reaction of like JP, where it's, we just killed 2, and the level of excitement of the next 10 that are coming in is, okay, we gotta go again,
Yeah.
And that excitement for me to see that joy in somebody, a hunter's, mind is that's what does it for me.
Yeah, this morning was the most fun I've ever had duck hunting for sure, and I got to the point where I was giddy about it, and you were like listen to JP laugh down there, and I'm like, hey, there's 2 more on the left.
Yeah.
How many boxes of ammo did we start with today? We started with 6 20s, right? And we would have shot 6, but Rocky sat on top one and forgot we had. So we shot 8.
We shot 164 birds, so I think we had about 8 or 9 boxes.
But how many did we have? We shot 5 boxes of 20 gauge. So what's 25 times 5?
125.
Okay, 125. 5.
And I think
Carry
we
the
had
5.
8.
125.
I think we had 8 boxes of 12.
Okay, so we had 13 boxes of ammo shot today. And not one hiccup in the ethos.
No.
Not one. I didn't even come close there. I mean, there was nothing today. That's a lot of heat going through those guns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And as you said yesterday, this powder, these shells aren't,
they're
they're not
dirty.
what we're used to shooting in the States. I mean, these literally are back to 1980s type powder burn. I mean, you're smelling it all morning long and so forth. So, I mean, they're cycling through really well.
Tomorrow, I guess Monty's out setting up the blind right now and getting it ready for tomorrow with his crew, but he's calling this more of a mixed bag hunt. And he said today on our way back that tomorrow's hunt, we were going to be in a smaller body of water, same style blind, smaller body of water and we're going to see 2 to 3 times the ducks tomorrow. Oh. He says we should shoot a lot more ducks than we did today.
Wow.
We better have 20 boxes of shells.
It's so hard. It's hard to imagine that. I mean, it's almost not believable. I mean, we're going to come back and talk about it tomorrow, but I mean, that's just ridiculous.
And he says tomorrow that it's a lot more conducive to what we're used to of like the approach and the back flapping and feet down, because he says these pintail and widgeon that we'll see tomorrow is, in contrast to the rosy bill. Those rosy bills look like they're going to set up, and they let the air out and they come down, and then it's just like another jet takes off, and they just come. I mean, you got to be on your game to kill them. Sometimes you get them. The first 2, the scouts will backpedal a little bit, and if you take those every time, it'd be perfect. The single comes in, you get that once in a while. But when you're waiting for that big flock, you think, oh, we got them. And the next thing you know, it's just, and you kill like 3 out of a group of 15, and that's good.
And they're gone,
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah. But tomorrow he says that you're going to see more, commonality of banking and coming in and back flapping and slower approaches with the pintail and the widgeon and the teal, which if a teal's approach is slower than a rosy bill, then something's wrong, because teal get on you in a hurry too.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
That teal that we killed today, that group of teal that came in, and you guys killed 4 with 1 shot or whatever, those are called ringed teal. Everybody
go
look
ahead,
up
Clay.
ringed
Go ahead,
teal.
try.
I think I did that, but
No.
JP's claiming it as
No,
well.
I definitely dropped one of them.
I don't think
You
you
two can
shot.
fight over the other 3.
Yeah, it was definitely me. There's no fight, because he'd hurt me if we fought.
I think somebody dropped 2 with 1 shot.
All 3. All
There was
3
one.
fell. But he said it. Both of us shot at the same exact time. And I thought I shot by myself, and he thought he shot by himself, because it was literally
simultaneous.
the
I didn't hear his
exact-
gun go off, so I
No.
just assumed I hit a triple. And he turned around, he's like pumping his fist. I'm like, what's going
It's
on?
too bad we didn't have a video crew out there or something.
I
to
know,
verify this.
we'll prove it.
Roll the tape.
1.5 ducks
Let's
each.
make sure Clay doesn't edit that one.
So 5
Darn it.
five shooters, 2 days so far. We've killed right around 275 ducks, give or take. So maybe 250, 275 ducks. And we still have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday morning hunts to do. So think about that. If you come down here on a 5-day excursion with 4 of your buddies, and there's 5 of you, think about the sheer opportunity in the months of May, June, and July, and the first part of August that you have to kill that many ducks. We're not talking snow geese. Snow geese, you hear numbers like that, 200-300 on a hunt in the depredation season, no plugs in your gun, electronic calling, huge decoy spreads, reverse migration is on. This is duck hunting, and we have the opportunity. We've killed 250 in 2 days, being fair.
Maybe
You
700.
could kill
No
700 ducks.
exaggeration. Yeah, we killed 700 ducks, yeah.
700, I mean, that's amazing to me. Plus the food and the lodging and the friends and the the wine and everything else that goes into this place.
There's wine here?
There is. Oh,
You sure?
Well, when George talks, yeah.
Had to get you back, Georgie.
Wow.
I'm the one that whines at this table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't right off. That's why.
So back-
there was no whining this morning.
No.
Back in America, in the Mountain Time Zone in Boise, Idaho, we have Team Alpha Male, our friends from Sacramento, California, Uriah Faber's gym, being represented by 4 fighters tonight. A couple of them are buddies with Sage Northcutt and Darren Damage Elkins, and our really, really tight buddy, Chad Money Mendez. Chad's back on the card, his first fight in a year and a half. I'm excited. Heck, and Monty went through extra hurdles to get us Fox 1 in English tonight on the direct TV so we can watch the fight. So part of our evening tonight, the fight started at 7. We're going to eat dinner 2.5 hours after the fight started at 9:30. And we're having New York strips tonight.
The fight started at 7:30 Boise time?
Yeah, which would be 10:30 here. 7 or-
11:30. No, Boise's hour ahead.
Yeah, Boise's an hour ahead of Reno.
So,
It's mountain
3.
time. But Chad Mendez, if you're listening out there, which I know you are because you can't live without this podcast or this voice from the real Chad, good luck, brother. We're rooting for you.
Good
We're in your
luck.
corner. Monty Mendez. Guys, that's just a quick little rundown of what we're experiencing here in Argentina. I can't say a big enough thank you to Monty Baldwin. Again, our family friend from Reno, was my dad's good friend. Graduated high school together back in the days, the good old days of Reno, Nevada, Washoe County. To be down here and meet new friends and all of the crew down here, his entire staff, they're just so friendly and they're so passionate about what they do. And to be able to do that with your good friends, and that's what we are through hunting and through duck camp and through our camaraderie and our shared passion and love of birds and hunting and outdoors and friends and family. We've been allotted the opportunities to visit a lot of areas, and here we are scratching another one off of the bucket list in South America. And I couldn't, I wouldn't want to do it. Well, I mean,
Here we go.
Here's an insult.
Wow.
Here we go.
It was going to be so
That was
heartfelt.
going so well.
no,
It
it's
was.
still hard.
Until
I
you
just
said,
I just don't want.
kind of like you guys.
I just
Yeah.
don't want Captain Insult to keep coming out on. I want to keep him in.
Well,
I
Clay
mean,
needs to be nicer to people.
But no, for real, I love doing it with you guys. I wouldn't pick another group to do it. We're going to continue to do things like this. We've already got plans. In just a couple months, we're going to be in Canada together. I mean, it's right around the corner. Things pop that fast. A couple weeks ago, JP and I were in Boston at Fenway Park for Zach's concerts, and it's just this lifestyle and this and hunting and the people that you meet here and the friendships that you and the bonds that you make here, they're invaluable. So, Argentina. Monty Baldwin, Argentina Duck Hunting Adventures.com. Check them out. Book a hunt. It's worth the money, I promise. Save up if you don't have it. Spend it if you do have it. Bring some good friends, and I promise you won't stop laughing, you won't stop smiling, and you won't stop shooting. For This Life Ain't For Everybody podcast, JP, you got any final words?
Man, you covered it.
Clay?
Can't wait to see what tomorrow holds.
Rocco?
Yep, agree with Clay. Looking forward to tomorrow.
George T. Thompson?
Looking for 200 tomorrow.
Ooh, going
Sets the bar.
200. Chad
like
Money
that.
Mendez, good luck tonight. Uriah Faber,
luck,
hope your
Money.
gym is well represented. Appreciate everybody that listens to This Life Ain't For Everybody. Don't forget season 10 of The Foul Life airing right now on the Outdoor Channel. Our first 2 episodes have been smash hits. It's verified. The compliments, we appreciate everybody that's watching them, supporting them, and writing in and saying what they mean to them. We appreciate Jamie Johnson, Zach Brown, Drake White, Leith Lofton lending us their music for those episodes, as well as the band Lit. We're proud of our soundtracks. But again, season 10 right now on the Outdoor Channel. We're in Canada this week with Clay Charlton and the crew at Take 'Em Outfitters. And I think JP was on that one as well. So it's just full circle, guys. This Life Ain't For Everybody podcast, The Foul Life TV. Thank you for all the support. New merchandise available at thefoullifetv.com. George, stop smiling at me. I love you guys. Chad Belding, This Life Ain't For Everybody, live from Argentina. We'll talk to you all tomorrow. Thank you very much.